Hi guys, welcome back to the Studentship YouTube channel. Today I'm here live at the University of Nigeria Enugu campus. I'll be meeting with an architecture student. He's actually a first class student of this, mighty and great department. He's going to be telling me what this course is all about as a course of study in university. I can assure you that you're going to find this video helpful. So make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel. Good day.
Good day.
What's the name?
Okeke Raphael.
Okay, you're a student here at the University of Nigeria.
Yes.
Okay, so what course?
Architecture, MSc2 students. So we call our this thing differently.
Okay.
So I think other departments will say 100 level or year one. So
Okay.
but we count in BS1, BS2, BS3, BS4, then MS1, MS2. And then prior to your MS1, MS2, you can decide to go for your NYSC.
Okay.
And you must not do your MSc immediately after though.
Okay.
Currently I'm in MS2.
So you're done with undergraduate studies. Wow, that is nice. Nice to have you. So you studied architecture at the university.
Yeah, I studied architecture.
Did
Did my BSc here, UNN.
Wow, that is nice. So how many years is architecture university?
It's 4+2. So like your BSc is 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, if ASU doesn't affect you though, but
Martin.
4 years. Then the MSc is 2 years.
Okay, after that you cannot go for your youth service.
Yes, you can decide to now go after that.
Okay.
But after your BSc,
4 years.
4 years, you can go for your NYSC and then decide that after your NYSC, you now go for the MSc.
Okay.
Masters.
So, okay. It's looking as if that MSc is like a necessary academic program for graduates.
Yes, actually, it's very necessary because happens that if you're going for the professional exam, it takes a process. So I think for the sake of the video, I will just explain it. You have your 4 year BSc. Then after your 4 years BSc, you just have a BSc in architecture. And that's BSc in architecture is just a basic degree. It doesn't really count much in the profession.
Okay.
So, but you need your master's, and then you still need to go under tutelage or you'll be a professional architect for like 2 years, professional architect 1, professional architect 2, and then you now you must also have your NYSC before you can write the professional exam. So this process will take you a minimum of 8 or 9 years.
Wow.
Yes. So the 4 years of your BSc, you can decide to go for NYSC. That's a year.
Okay.
Then 2 years of your MSc. That's 7 at the moment. Then 2 years of being a professional architect. That's your total years. So that's minimum of 2. So in all this, that's like 9 years.
Wow, I never knew of this. I don't mean you just graduate from university and you. So that means you becoming an architect.
Yeah.
You have to pass that professional exam.
Yes, for you to be a registered architect.
To you to really have to pass that exam. Okay, so let's go to architecture as a course. So what does the course really entails?
So, okay, architecture is basically art and science.
Okay.
Some people think it's an art, but it's more an art and a science.
Okay.
Yeah, the art and science of designing, building, remodeling, constructing buildings, and also coordinating the allied professionals that are involved in the construction industry. So, like when I mean allied professionals, I mean the surveyors, the engineers, electrical, mechanical, structural, the quantity surveyors, they have the quantity surveyor, they have the land surveyor. So basically, these different professionals that will come together to have an edifice built, a building built. So these professionals, your job as an architect is to coordinate them to ensure that in the process of having a building designed to completion, completing the building, that these guys put in the required efforts and you coordinate them so that they work together.
Okay, like you create the master plan for.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So why did you decide to study architecture? Was it a childhood dream or something you decided on during your JAM registration?
Okay. As much as this childhood dream of a thing is don't know that to say a thing, but I believe it was something that I was quite passionate about.
Okay.
Right from um, my childhood. Happens that when I was in primary three, I found out that I could draw well, and my dad was an engineer, or is an engineer, and I was always fascinated by the drawings, and also I more or less got so intrigued,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
passionate. And going to secondary school, I told the science courses and the courses that were involved in architecture, like geography and technical drawing. So you need these two courses actually to gain admission into UNN, I
Okay.
believe, because if you write jam and you pass and you did the basic science courses and you didn't take your WAEC results, you don't have geography, you don't have technical drawing, you won't be given admission.
Okay.
Yeah, they will recommend you to maybe civil engineering.
So architecture, it involves a lot of drawing, right?
Yeah, you do a lot of drawing.
Yeah, yeah. So there are group of people, let me say category of people that drawing does not come natural to them, like
Yeah.
it's not a talent for them.
Yeah.
So are they eligible to study this course? Is it possible?
The truth is, there is, I think people being able to draw is a myth. Like, it's not exactly that there are people that are so talented to draw. But the truth is that drawing is a talent,
Okay,
actually.
okay.
But in our first year here, I think there's a course, Act 1 to 3 and Act 1 to 4. You study, and the first thing that the man is going to tell you is that being able to draw is a skill anybody could learn.
Okay.
Do you get? And they'll pass you through a process that will make you learn how to draw or make you a better drawing.
Okay,
So
okay.
yeah, I believe having the talent is a thing,
Okay.
but also honing the skill that someone can teach you how to draw. But then the drawings we do here, it's not like
History, like,
exactly.
like the fine arts
Yeah, although if you have that skill, it helps you.
is a
But
plus.
some people just feel like they they are very good at drawing, and this is the course for them. But in the end, when they come, they are disappointed because they find that the drawing is not necessarily the art. It's more or less understanding how to balance both the art and the science
Okay.
of producing a building.
Okay. And that's why the department is under the Faculty of Environmental
Sciences.
Sciences. Okay.
It's more of a science.
Science. Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. So how demanding is this course?
I feel
Because I've heard things about architecture students they sleep in their studio, like how challenging it is.
architecture is one of the most demanding because I believe there was a study that was released by Harvard, I think in 2019, that they ranked architecture as the most difficult or demanding course, and it's not far from the truth. Architecture is really demanding in terms of you come to a department and you're surprised at the level of work you're meant to do. First year till your final year, the minimum number of courses you do here in UNM is 10.
Wow.
There are semesters you do 11. So even in your masters, I did 10 first semester, then second semester I did 9. Then currently I'm doing, I think, 9 or 8.
Okay.
Then the next semester will be 7. So it's 4 semesters in master. But in your BSc, you do 10 all through. Then your third year, you do 11. It's very demanding. Then as regards the studio life,
Yes.
is the most interesting part of
Oh.
life as an architecture student. Happens that for you to actually function well as a student, you have to work in studio. Yes, you have to work in studio. You'll be assigned a locker, which you
Okay.
pay for your stuff. You'll be assigned a locker, you would work there, you sleep in the studio, you wake up in the studio, and it's a general practice
Okay.
in
Yeah.
every architecture school.
Yes.
Call it
Yes.
a studio culture.
Mm.
Studio culture also helps you to do well because for you to excel as an architecture student, you have to um work in groups, or you have to see what the next person is doing.
Yeah. Like
It's
that
more of
collaboration.
creativity.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you cannot work in isolation. If not, you produce very
Something different. You just come back the next day to
yeah,
class
and
and
you find out that you did
yeah.
nothing.
Oh, that is very
Exactly.
interesting.
Even the fact that the senior colleagues would be
Yeah.
there to help
Okay,
you,
okay.
because you always need their help, to
Guide you,
yeah,
like.
exactly.
So this course, does it gives students the opportunity like to engage in other, let me say, extracurricular activities?
Okay. Um, yes and no,
Okay.
because it's very demanding, to be very honest. But I think it all boils down to time. It all boils down to time. How do you handle your time, and what are you passionate about? When I was in school, I I was part of a fellowship,
Okay.
and I believe I was very dedicated
Mm.
in the fellowship. I once served as a hall pastor and for a full year, and I was still able to still maintain a first class GP
Wow,
that particular
that is
session.
awesome.
So I feel it's about the way you handle your time.
Time management.
Yeah, exactly. But it's also averagely wouldn't allow you to do a lot. An average person in this department cannot handle certain, or you will not even be chanced to handle certain political positions in school.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Because
that's
you're always in the studio doing your work.
exactly, and even the way the course is designed, in like UN as an example,
Okay.
you can only handle political positions from your second year to your third year. You cannot handle in final year. You cannot handle in your first year.
Yeah.
Your masters you can't handle. Do you get? So it's only your second year and third year, and you can't suddenly become SCG president in your second year. And your third year, you're going on an IT, so you can't even handle a position in your third year.
Okay,
So you
okay.
only have your second year.
Okay,
So
okay.
it's designed like in a way that you hardly have that
Time to
opportunity
really
to.
look some.
Exactly.
So talking about this IT, you said third year, right?
Yeah,
Is that the only time architecture students go for?
go for IT. It's different in certain schools. Like I know schools that you do it 3 months. Your second year you do 3 months. Your third year you do 3 months. But here in UNN you do it in your second semester of your third
On
year,
your third year.
which is 6 months. So
Okay.
it's more or less counted in weeks, 25 weeks.
Okay, you go for the IT 25 weeks.
Yeah, 25 weeks. So if you count, it's like 6 months.
Okay, okay, okay. So where do students go for this IT?
Okay, IT. And IT is industrial training, and it should be a very interesting part of your experience in architecture school. So you would have to apply to certain firms.
Okay.
Those firms would take you, or they'll tell you that it's more like
Yeah,
having a
application. Okay, okay,
like
okay.
practice. So if they take you, you work there. You're not working as per someone that is done with school, but you're going there to learn how the industry works.
The practical
So
experience.
exactly. So in that particular place, you have to learn a lot, and for you to have a balanced approach, you have to um, work in a firm that does the both sides of or the major parts of the profession, which is the office experience and the site
And the field work.
experience.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah, it will give you a balanced look. And after going for an IT, by the time you get back to your final year, you're a new student. You understand the profession.
You realize like
Yeah,
what?
because you've gotten the real application of what you've been learning.
Yeah, yeah, that is interesting. So I want to talk about the coursework. We've talked about how you do a lot of studio work. Is
Yeah,
there any like theoretical aspect to it where you have to
the practical.
like no, not practical now, maybe study textbooks apart from maybe drawing, anything related to drawing?
Okay, yeah. So I'll explain it in a particular way that I'll explain it this way rather. Happens that you offer 10 courses.
Okay.
Now, although in your second year, I think two of the 10 courses will be uh, GS
Okay,
courses.
general
Yeah,
studies.
general studies. So the other seven are your departmental or faculty courses. Out of those seven, one is your major course, which is what most of them are working on.
Okay.
The course is your design, architectural design. That's your major course. It carries 4 unit loads.
Wow.
Yeah. So in masters it carries five. Your like MSc 1 5, MSc 2 6, but that's the major course. And then the other courses are like geared towards preparing you or helping you to understand the major course and do better in the major course. So like, but in the end, the whole thing is building you for practice. So these courses will teach you the theory of architecture, teach you different things, building services, building components. Their courses of every semester, history of architecture, um, even CAD. So you learn about BIM and CAD, idea design, and building information modeling. So these courses are more or less geared towards preparing you to do better in the major course and also for practice.
Yeah, yeah. Talking about this cloud, that means there are a lot of like structural design using laptops,
Exactly.
computer softwares.
Exactly. There are a lot of schools that don't teach it, but I think UNN is one of, like in the southeast especially,
Okay.
UNN is a school that will teach you. And if you work with your fellow classmates, you'll do very well. By the time you're done, you're very good at CAD.
Oh, interesting, interesting. So I want to go into how lucrative the course is, but before you answer that question, I want to like say a popular opinion.
Yeah.
There's this belief that architecture students they are where they make a lot of money in school from like outside jobs and everything.
Yeah.
Is that the case here?
The truth is, it depends on the person. There are opportunities and a lot of opportunities, but the course is more of a skill-based course.
Okay.
There are certain courses you study, and while you're studying the course, you're making money, and that's because the course is skill-based. One very good skill you learn in architecture school is CAD
Okay.
or BIM. So if you're very good in this skill, learning how to use this software that we architects use, you and with the understanding you have, you can work or partner with certain firms
Yeah.
as an intern while schooling.
The freelancer.
Exactly. And you can also do some related stuff like graphic design and certain things that encapsulated in the body of work of
Wow,
course. Yeah.
that is
So
interesting.
it helps you to make money, but somehow as you're making the money goes into the course because the course actually is very demanding financially.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the procurement of a lot of materials.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's very demanding financially.
Wow, that is interesting. But okay, let's look at it after graduation. What are the opportunities that are available
The
out there?
opportunities. Yeah. It's like I said earlier, it all goes down to the person. What are the skills you've learned?
Okay.
What are the things you've actually learned in school? Because it's more of a value-based course. If you're valuable, you make money.
Okay.
If you're not valuable, you don't make money. It's not necessarily a course that involves you carrying your CV around, but you need your CV to apply to firms.
Okay.
But prior to applying to these firms, you can, as an individual, make money. Do you get on your side jobs before even applying to work in a structured firm?
Okay.
So these opportunities abound actually. There are different fields as regards architecture. You can be a contractor, which anybody in the construction industry, in the AEC industry, can be. You can be a contractor, you can be a CAD technician. That's aside being an architect.
Projection, yeah.
Yeah, you can be a lot of things. There are a plethora of opportunities where you can actually go into. Now that we have tech in architecture,
Yes.
you can go into developing even software or plugins. You
Mm.
can be a visualization artist. So, like you see, people create buildings in their computers, and it looks as though they are taken with a camera.
Like realistic.
Exactly. So it's called visualization. You can go
Okay.
into animations.
Mm.
You can go into the whole lot of things you can do
Yeah.
as an architect. You can even go into material architecture where you have to produce materials and you make money from there. Yeah, I just feel the whole thing boils down to your ability to learn and
Yeah.
acquire more skills. The more skill you acquire, and the more
Opportunities that
exactly the plethora of them. So yeah.
So you graduated with first class from this department, which is very demanding. So what was the experience like? How did you attain that? How did you get that achievement?
Okay. Happens that I I more or less was I just understood myself. You
Okay.
get it's more of understanding yourself as a student before anything. Some people have to work more than the others to do well. Some people have to follow the basics or the rudimental process to doing well, and it's more of you understanding yourself. The course is very demanding, and if you must excel, you must at least do the basics in the course. Yeah. So first year, I think I was just more or less trying to understand because I don't have a background knowledge.
Okay.
Earlier, I was discussing and telling her that if if you're going to excel naturally in this course, you would more or less have a background knowledge. And the background knowledge I was talking about is maybe going to a polytechnic or a technical school.
Okay.
You get to learn about the course, and by the time you come here, you're a different student. But if you gain the admission as the way I gained,
Okay, directly from secondary school.
exactly the same year I just finished,
Mm.
I gained admission into school, and I more or less have to learn from the scratch.
Mm.
So the thing is having to know the best people you can partner with. You get um, those people, they rub off on you, and you get to do very well. And then the paramount thing is studio culture, working in studio.
Okay.
If you're someone that has a, maybe you had knowledge of architecture prior to being in architecture school, you do very
An
well.
advantage already.
Exactly. You must not work in studio. You can work in your house, and then from time to time you just come around and know what people are doing. But if you're someone like me,
Yeah.
that's
From the scratch.
exactly the semesters I did my best were my final year semesters, and it was mainly because I was able to move back to studio. I was working in studio my second year. Then at some point, because of certain stuff, I had to move out,
Okay.
and it was very challenging as regards, having to do well academically. But I think I flourished other spheres of my life, But my academics were not so that.
Yeah.
But then my final year, I had a better this, and in the end, it resulted in
Oh,
having a promotion.
well, congrats. Thank you.
Yeah.
That is actually interesting. So, was there any, do you have any memorable experience in your undergraduate study?
Okay. I would say um memorable experience it will be working in studio.
Okay.
Yeah, working in studio is, I think I would say to working in studio and then my IT, my industrial training.
Okay.
Working in studio, you just get to mix with your classmates, and these are guys that you would probably work with through life.
Mm.
One way or the other, you would have to meet them. I think the demand in architecture, or the demand is high, the supply is low. No matter if you check the number of graduates every year in Nigerian market, and you'd check the ratio of architects that come out every year, it's always low,
Yeah.
and the demand is quite high. So always you would relate with them, and having to work with them in studio, you get to meet different personalities, and you get to learn. You get to see that some people are better than you in this,
Mm.
and they rub off on you if you become friends with them, and you guys establish a bond. And
So it's like a community, a family.
exactly,
Wow.
exactly. And then for the industrial training experience, it's more or less opened my eye and made me a better designer, because architecture is all about design mainly and
Okay.
implementing the design. So it made me a better designer, and I was able to attend a lot of conferences during as a student, and those conferences shaped my view of
Mm.
architecture. Yeah.
So, if you could go back in time, would you still decide to study architecture?
Yeah, actually, I I always wanted to,
Okay.
because I think when I was in secondary school, the teachers were more or less coercing me into, because I always told them I wanted to study architecture, but because my grades were always high,
Mm.
they suggested medicine as
Same.
and every single person that were doing very well in school were actually going for medicine. So it was more like myself and maybe two other persons.
It's very common if you're an student, say go for law, go for medicine. Yeah,
Exactly.
just these few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I'm always glad I did.
You stick to your.
Yeah,
Oh, that is nice. That is nice.
yeah.
So, lastly, what advice would you give to the students that want to study architecture at the university?
Okay. We more or less say the different parts of it, like the pros, the cons. It's very demanding actually, but you have to know yourself first. Are you sure that what is inspiring you to study this course? You have to first understand what architecture is, understand how demanding it is. Are you going to fit in? I think one of the first questions that I was asked when I gained admission, and the lecturer asked every single one in the class. I think that's Act 101,
Okay.
Introduction to Architecture. So we have this lecturer, Banigo, that handles the course. He will ask you what made you study architecture. And a lot of us were somewhere like I was inspired, somewhere like, and he'll be like, that's not enough reason because in the real sense, there may not be enough reason for you. What may be inspiring you to study architecture may be what you feel is the reason may not even be justified because when you come here, you're going to see a different culture, a different environment. But if you must study architecture, you should it would be good you have a background knowledge. So from a secondary school or from a preceding um, field or place of learning, you should be able to um, create yourself such that you know things that are related to architecture, how the field works, how architecture school actually works. Get yourself acquainted to the studio culture, even like understanding how this architecture school works.
Yeah, the
That
structure. Yeah.
exactly. And when you know these things, you know whether it suits your passion. Some people are just very good at drawing, and maybe because they were intelligent, their school made them study science, and they feel maybe it's architecture that I should go to. And then when they come, I had a friend that in my final year he was telling me, and this guy was very smart. He was telling me, Chinedu, this was not where I was meant to be, that I just knew how to draw, and because I was doing well, everybody would say that
Architecture.
and this is not where it's meant to be. And the guy is very smart, but he found out very late, and he couldn't rewind the time to get, so he just had to continue. So, but understanding yourself first is paramount.